Hello guys and girls. In today's tutorial, I'll be creating a magic box with using CSS. It's more like a 3D hologram and shit like that. So in our last tutorial, we did something like this. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go to my channel and see how we created something like this. You'll see with translate and stuff like that. We just this small line of code and a little bit of styling as well or stuff like that. You can see the tutorial and step-by-step procedures on how we did this with in my last video. You can go check it out on my channel, but I'll try to put a link in the description as well. So now I'll try to create a magic box using CSS. So firstly, I'll just delete all this. So we'll start from plain using plain HTML and CSS. So what I'll do now is this tab, so it gives us this. So let me link our CSS to it. My caps lock is on. So I'll link my CSS to it and tab. Then I'll do style.css. Okay. So the next thing, what we need in our body is just like 6 lines of code for the hologram, so you can see the magic box in action. Don't worry, you will like the end product, the end result of it. So I'll give like a div, and it also shows you guys how div works, because div is just like a box. And I'll name the class of the div hologram. Okay, and inside the div I will put more divs. Let me say div, and I'll give it name of class, and I'll name the class panel. So panel, this is like a cell inside all the divs. So what I'm trying to do is a box. So a box have like 6 faces. So I'll just have to copy this like 6 times like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, one more. Okay, six faces. This for the 6 faces, and this is also to try to explain to you guys that a div works with box and is very necessary in box model and styling of your web page. So if I'll go to my style. So firstly, we'll style the body. So we'll just so you see what I'm trying to achieve right now. So we'll style the body, and I'll remove all the default margin. Initially, I'm not seeing anything in my page because we are working with divs. So you won't be able to see any div now till you add like background color or something like that. But all the divs are boxes. That's all you need to know about divs. Yeah. But for now, we don't have any styling in our div, so you can't see the boxes. So I'll make the height 100 VH. Yeah. So the next one is the background color. I'll just make it all black like this. Okay. So let's make so the hologram will be visible and you guys can see it as well. So I'll just do display flex so we can move the div around. Display flex. And there's something, if you're working with 3Ds or something, there is a very long topic on perspective. It helps, like it adds depth for the 3D transformation and stuff like that. But there's a very long thing you need to understand in perspective. So I won't be saying about perspective in this video. So I'll just set my perspective to 1000 pixels. So the next thing I'll do is go to my class of hologram like this, and just click on dots hologram so we can style it up so you guys will see what we're trying to achieve. So I'll put margin to auto, and the width of the total box would be 200 pixels, and I'll just make the height again anything you want to do. Let me make mine 200 pixels as well. Then I'll make the positioning relative, and then what we need to do now is transform style. Okay, for the child element to retain the 3D positioning. I'll do this transform style. You can see it here, so you just click on it, transform style. You can see, yeah, because I'm going to be working with 3D because the box will be glowing and stuff like that. So I'll call it preserve/3D. So the next one I'm going to do is animation, but since we have not yet created our animation, we'll have to create our animation firstly. So I think it would be the last thing I'll create, or let me just create it right away. So our animation would be let me say keyframes, and we'll name it at keyframes, and I'll just name it float because it will help float our div. If you watch my tutorials on animation, you understand why the meaning of translate Y and translate X. So I'll be using translate Y and X, and also rotate and stuff like that in this tutorial. So from 0% to 100%, we'll have I'll just do well, let me give a little bit of space so it can be visible for you guys. Transform, and I'll do transform. I'll use like translates Y, because Y is going up or down depending on how you want it to go. So initially at 0 it would be like this initially. Then I will now give the rotate. I'll now put another transformation on it. I'll call it rotateX. I'll rotate it X. And so which angle do I want to rotate the thing? It would be 10 deg. Okay, so then for the next one will be, I'll still add another rotation again. Rotate Y this time around. Remember how rotate works? It just rotates it. This one will go like horizontally, then Y is for vertical alignment. Then we'll go 10 deg. So this is just the animation I'm styling for our animations. So the next thing we're going to be doing is, then we'll go for 50%. 50%. Some people can do, you can do something like this. You can define how it will be in 100 and 0 to 100%. Then you define what you need it to do in when it's 50%. So what I need it to do is, when it's 50%, it transforms. I'll use transform translates Y. Where's translates? Oh, let me just type it out. Translates Y. Okay, translates Y. So I'll use -30 pixels for the translation. Translate Y -30 will make it move up. So minus makes it move up, and just normal positive sign for pixels makes it move down. So then I'll add my rotate again. Rotate X, and I'll just set it to -10 degrees. So let me just copy this rotates that we had here, and I'll set it, but this time around I'll just make the both of them minus degrees. So I'll just copy, cancel this. Sorry. Okay, so oh shit. Okay, so I'll just come here and translates Y is, what do we use as translate Y? -30 pixels for translate Y. Then next one, I'll just copy and paste our rotate. So I'll just make this -10 degrees and make this -10 degrees. Okay, so the next thing, so I think that is it for our animation. So yeah, that's it for our animation. This is supposed to be the last thing that we're going to create, but I don't say that. Let me just create it here, so don't get confused now. So if I go to my hologram, I will, so we can add our animation. Let me add my animation to the hologram. Animation, I'll call it the name of the animation. How long should it last? It should last for like 6 seconds, and I'll use the ease in out. Then I'll make it go forever, infinite. Okay, so it's not yet doing anything, but you still understand where I'm going. So I'll just push this to the end line of our animation. So then I'll work with this panel, so you can see the boxes on display. So what you do now is panel, and sorry, it's a class, so I dot panel. Okay, so I'll make it position absolute, since the parent class is relative, so I'll make it absolute so we can move it around. And I'll make the width 100%, and I'll make the height 100% as well. Yeah, so it will just be responsive. So the next thing, I'll make background color, have a particular background color for it. I'll use RGBA value, and I need something like blue, but not that blue, but somehow green as well. So what I'll do is 0 for red, 255, sorry, 255 for green, and 255 for blue. I don't know if you're seeing the thing right here now. Okay, it's cool. For the next thing, then I'll now add for the trans opacity 0.2. Okay, so that's our background color. Okay, for like a transparent cyan color. Okay, so we will now add a border to it as well, so it can be visible. Border, I'll add a border to it, and I'll 1 pixels solid, then this color of border, 0ff, this type of border to it. I don't know if you can see the stylings there. You can see the border. Okay, let me make it 10 pixels. Yeah, you can see it now, right? We'll keep it to 1 pixels. So the next thing we are going to do is box shadow. I'll add a box shadow to it, and box shadow would be 0 0 at 20 px or pixels, anything you want to call it. Then I'll add the color of this our border as well. Yeah, you're seeing it, right? You're seeing how it's displaying. So then I will add something like incense for the holograms and stuff like that. It's called, then I'll like it's comma then insets, yeah, something like this. Then I'll add 0 0 20 pixels. Then I'll still add our color of, or yeah, this color. I don't know if you're seeing this. Yeah, it's, you see how it's coming out, but this is not what we're trying to achieve. We are still going. So this for the panel, this for the panel, this is our panel. We just tied it up, and then what we need to do now is positioning the elements of the child elements of everything. So what we have to do now is dot panel, and we use our selector ends child selector. So our ends child one would be, what should we do in our end child one? So what I'll do now is I will just create everything that needs to be inside our end child one, and I will increase it in our end of child 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what will be in our end of child one would be, we'll transform it to, then we'll use rotate, and we'll rotate y should be 0 degrees initially for the ends of child one, 0 deg, that's what we're going to call it, degrees for deg if you don't know. And then we'll go here and we'll use translate z, and we'll make it 100 pixels. Okay, so all our translate z, we just stay aligned. I don't know if you can see the first child box right there. It just brought out his head out. And then what we need to do now is, then I'll use this same thing for all my child elements. Control C for all my child elements. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. 1 2 3 4 5, then 6. Okay, so this one would be, I'll make it 2. I'll make these 3 child 3, and I'll make these 4, and I'll make these child 5, and I'll make these child 6. Okay, so to show you guys the full functionality of it, what we need to do is just to change our rotateY to something else, so it can like show other parts of the child or the children elements. So this one, I'll just change it to 90 degrees, so you can see it's rotating. So this one, I'll change it to 180 degrees, so you can see how it's coming out. It's coming out, right? And next one, I'll change it to we'll make this one 270 degrees. Okay, so next one, I'll change this one to 90 degrees as well, and this one I'll change it to 270 degrees. Okay, Yeah, and so that's it. That's what we're trying to achieve now. That's what we're trying to achieve. Okay, I was trying to make this video 15 minutes long, and I finally did. So you can see our magic box and how it's moving because of our floats, keyframes, animation, and stuff like that. Okay, just creates easy stuffs, and so if you found this video helpful, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe for more tutorials like this. And we are going to enter a full program on CSS in my next videos, so don't miss out.